Poet Speaks. This is the last of the series of pieces by Schumann from Scenes from Childhood. And it's a very interesting way to finish off this piece. You know, the rest of this series, it's very childlike, right? It has a very nostalgic, wistful, charming quality about them. But this one has a far more adult profundity. So it's a very interesting way to choose to finish off this series. And it's really lovely to play and listen to. I'll play the first 15 seconds or so of it, and then I'll teach you how to play the whole thing. So here it is, The Poet Speaks. This roll will stop. So it has this kind of almost spoken quality about it. There is a meter. It's in 4/4 time, very regular, but it seems almost improvised, I would say. So as a result, the way I'll teach it to you is going to be, I'll play with both hands right away, and I'll show you how they configure. And after, I'll give you the counting as a kind of scaffolding, but on the whole, it should more or less be musical intuition that guides the way that you play this piece. But yeah, we'll begin with both hands right away. Before I do, please consider hitting that little notification bell if you're a subscriber, and subscribe if you haven't already. You'll be notified when there's anything new that comes out on the channel, film music, classical music, all the rest of it, and it also lets YouTube know that you find this content worthwhile. Okay, so here's how we begin. 3 and 1 in my left, 1 and 2 in my right. 4 and 1 in my left, 3 and 1 in my right. Now, before I go into the next bar, just notice something that I'm doing here. On the outside notes of these chords that I just taught you, I try as much as I can to connect. Right, so we start here. The thumbs can't connect, right, because they have to move, and there's nothing to connect to. But the bottom and the top can connect 3 to 4, and 2 to 3 in the right. So watch, without the pedal, what should happen is the thumbs lift, the outsides remain, and then you connect to the next one. That'll give it a fluidity to the phrase. Even with the pedal down, you want to have as much of the connections with your fingers as possible. As my teacher would say, you're cheating otherwise. So, right? Lift the thumbs, connect the outsides to this. Moving on to the next bar. Again, lift the thumbs, hold the outsides, and then 5 and 1 in both the hands. Lift the thumbs. 4 and 1 in both hands. Moving on, lift the thumbs. 3 and 1 in both hands. So we have this unmeasured grace note section. And this you don't have to count since it's unmeasured. You just sort of fit it in an embellishing kind of way, in an improvisatory sort of way. And then you get this. So the notes are 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1 in the right, 5, 1 in the left. So once more, that's 3 and 1 in both the hands, and then the embellishment. by itself. And then connect now to this. 4 and 1 in both the hands. And then connect the top notes in both the hands to one lower. You can see that these notes are going to be held, right? And you're going to connect these top notes down in this way. And there's your first phrase. Right? So it's very simple, very clean, but if you connect all the things as I've described, it'll make it much easier to feel as though the phrase is moving along instead of just, sort of individual events of harmony. You need to feel a horizontal movement of harmony and a horizontal movement of music, and connecting the way that I just showed you helps to do this. So putting all that together again, with counting, you'll get this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's your scaffolding. Once you have that down, and if you feel pretty good about it, I would say don't pay too much attention to that. Just play it as your heart wills it. Because when you hear other people play it, they don't necessarily keep all the beats, in place. They'll cut the end of the phrase a little short so that it feels like the momentum builds up to the next phrase. All these little things, all these little decisions that are made that are not necessarily in the music, but that serve the music quite well. And that's just musical intuition. Yeah. Okay, but that should more or less cover the first 4 bars. Now the pedaling. Pedaling should be very easy here, right? So we're going to have one pedal for each of these. So pedal for this. Then change. With every harmony, we're going to have a new pedal, right? And then change on the next one too. Change, 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 and then lift. Then we move on. And then after you lift it, to connect to the next one, put the pedal down, it'll hold, and then that glues into the next phrase. And so the next section is as follows. We have I'll cover that on the next part of the tutorial. So if you haven't joined us over there already, please do so. It's free to try, and you'll have full access to this full tutorial and everything I've done so far, which is hundreds of videos, hundreds of pieces, hundreds of film scores. So have a look, finish this off, and you can also download the sheet music there as well in PDF format directly to your computer. So if you can read, that's also very helpful. All right, subscribe here if you think that I've earned it. And I'll see you guys in the next ones. All right, take care.